What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to find out if a Chevy V8 will fit in a Honda Prelude. Now, the reason that the Honda is all the way over there is because I cleared out a space in the garage thinking that I was gonna get the parts car, but I've yet to receive it. So for now, the Honda is gonna go back to where it was because I have more room to work there. I already have some parts marked out with some duct tape as to where I think I should cut next. So I'm gonna move the car over, start cutting, and then we'll see where that ends up. Alright, so it's in place. I've already cut out a couple spots, but I've already tested the engine and dropped it in, and the transmission was hitting. It wasn't enough. So I've marked out some more spots that I think I need to cut out, and that's what I'm going to do now. So I just cut that piece out, and there it is right there. So let's get the engine on the hoist, drop it into the engine bay, and see how close we are. As you can see, it's not the easiest thing to move this on your own, but I've already done it a couple times, so I know I can do it. It just takes a little bit of time. Alright, so I just took a pause there just to kind of see where I'm at, because the transmission is already through the part where I've cut. As you can see right there, that's the end of the transmission, and that's exactly where I just cut. And the more that I'm looking at this, it seems like I'm going to have to cut a lot more than I thought. But like I told myself at the beginning, what I'm going to do is just fit it and cut little by little. That way I'm not taking out too much. All right, well, it might be hard to tell from here, but this is where the struts are going to be going roughly. Generally, you want to have the center of the engine center with the struts. And right now, I'm a little forward, and I can't go any further back because I'm still touching inside on the floor there and a little bit on the firewall. I need to make a couple more marks on where I'm going to cut, but I think we'll be all right. All right, so I was just taping up some parts that I need to cut, like right here, for example. And I wanted to double check how center the engine was just to get an idea of how much I need to cut off of each side. The whole thing needs to come over a ½ inch this way. And what that means is this here totally needs to be eliminated. And what this is the gas pedal stop. You can get a better idea of what I was talking about from this angle here. So that's the gas pedal there. And it presses up against this. Well, that's in the way. And there you go, easy as that. Now this way, because I just drilled out the spot welds, if I need to keep maybe half of this or a quarter of this even, all I gotta do is cut it and put it back. I got the whole piece here. All right, so I've taped up the areas that I think I need to cut out. So it's time to pull the engine back out and then cut those out and then put the engine back in.
The next day.
So I've cut way more out, and now I'm getting pretty excited actually because it looks like, well, I can see the entire transmission from here, so I think we're gonna have a lot better luck trying to fit this in. There may be some spots where I gotta notch out, and it does look like I've taken out a lot, but obviously I had to. This car was never meant to fit a V8 with a transmission pointing right down the center like this, so it's all good. I mean, I'm gonna have to customize some stuff afterwards, and all I gotta do is figure out how to fit this in first, and then I can worry about putting sheet metal on top to cover it up later. Okay, now we are talking. Now I'm way closer to where I need to be. Of course, I'm not there yet. And even if I think I'm there, I gotta wait till I get the front suspension all mocked up as well to make sure that everything works together. But right now I have the engine, so that's what I'm working with. I knew this would be the case. Basically, the entire transmission is gonna be inside the car. But that's all right. It looks like I'm touching in a couple spots, like right here a little bit, and maybe up in this corner here as well. So just a little bit of trimming here and there, and I think I'll be all right. Well, that's a lot better. The engine still seems a little low, which I kind of figured it would be. I'm probably gonna have to raise it a few inches at least. And that's what we look like from the inside. And if I do have to lift it, this part of the tunnel is gonna have to be cut out. Now the nice thing about this Honda was the exhaust went straight down the middle. So there's already kind of a tunnel of where my drive shaft may be able to fit. I don't know yet, of course, because I still need to fit the rear axle in back there. But for now, I'm pretty happy. Until I get my parts car here and pull out the front suspension from that and try to fit it in here, figure out how I'm gonna mount that to this, and then figure out how I'm gonna make the front suspension work with the engine and make sure that they fit together. And until then is when I'll finally know exactly where the engine needs to be. But I'm happy right now because I moved a lot of metal out of the way and I've got the engine to very close to where I think it needs to be. Obviously it's gonna be a few inches off here and there, but again, once the suspension gets here, then we'll be all set. I'm just happy I made some good progress today, and yesterday is a 2-day video. And yeah, I think the answer is yes. A V8 will fit in a Honda Prelude. You just have to have some Sawzall blades and a grinder and some patience. But yeah, man, I'm pumped. And another good point that my father-in-law made, he's gonna give me a distributor that he has, and I'm just gonna drop it in the back of the block so that I know where it sits, because that's something else that I'm gonna have to cut out from the firewall to make room for. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm super happy. I made some good progress. And on top of that, a bunch of my friends have been helping me out lately, giving me a whole bunch of motivation to get this done. So I think in the next few weeks, I'm gonna have some really good content coming out. I'm gonna make some good progress on this build. And then also I have some things that I'm gonna be doing on my Wrangler. So depending on what you're interested in, whether it be the Jeep exclusively or the Prelude, or maybe you're interested in both, make sure you subscribe, hit the button underneath, and like the video, please. That would help me out a bunch. So again, guys, I really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.